the T-Mac story, and we're here today on the topic holiday fears, holiday cheers, holiday fears, right, DJ Dunn?
That's right.
And why we don't support each other. So we're finna get real deep into this topic, and also we're gonna open up the files to the T-Mac story on an issue that went on about a year ago, and we're gonna kind of share some lights because it's not just me going through it. Pretty much the whole community, so we're gonna just share some light here on the T-Mac Story Morning Show. Got about like 5 minutes, and we got special guest Jerusha is here again today, and she's gonna share some powerful lights as a woman, you know, towards the light of what we're dealing with in the community. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back on the T-Mac Story.
They follow through. And as this war recedes even more from the heavens, it becomes that much more important not to let the needs of those who have sacrificed so much disappear from our consciousness, too. And that's our program for today. I'm Michelle Martin, and this is Tell Me More from NPR. Let's start working on it.
I mean, I don't really need no music for it, but prior to that, I see that.
Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's all good, right?
You got it. All right.
Right, that's fresh mic check from everybody on the T-Mac Morning Radio Show. Carlos, the wise man poet.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'll be honest, saying good morning. Jerusha, always the intelligent, intellectual, well-spoken woman, class to the show each and every time she's in attendance.
Well, thank you.
And then we have
Cheyenne.
And special guest today also is
Perez.
Good morning, pleased to meet ya. 60 seconds stand by for the T-Mac Morning Radio Show. Good morning.
Good morning. You are listening to Save the Kids on the T-Mac Story.
Excuse me, sir. My legs are so tired. But can you tell me where I just made it from? Can you tell where I just made it from, sir?
Yes, ma'am. You reached the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, Private Investigation Department.
Oh, okay, good. Now lean over here so I can talk to you for a minute before I hit you with my purse.
Yes, ma'am.
I need to talk to the detective about these peoples that don't support each other. Now, I don't mean no harm, but you make sure my detective is black. I want me a Mandingo.
Yes, ma'am. Down the hall to the left.
Oh.
Come on in, ma'am. I heard your complaint. Just give me the location and I'll take care of it for you. My name is Shep.
Oh, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
You gonna let this run for a minute?
Yeah.
Say it.
Well, we're gonna go right. Give me about 10 seconds for the roll. We're doing the shaft. Las Vegas Metro Police Department. You know, we got DJ Dumb. You know, put it down.
Oh, you better watch that camera.
Here we go. Las Vegas, good morning. This is your boy T-Mac, and welcome to the T-Mac Story Morning Show. And also, we have a special guest. Yes, Jerusha, the most powerful lady that came to our last show.
Good morning.
All right, good morning. All right, and also DJ Thumb, good morning to you as well.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
All right, good, I'm fine, thank you. And also we got Anthony filming us today as well. Now we want to get on with the show, a very powerful show today. But first I want to get the sponsors out of the way, and then we're going to get going. Sponsors to T's Auto Body and Paint, 649-9722. Go to tment.co. Now, I forgot to give my guys a shout out about 2 times. So let me shout out to my peoples out there. Shout out to the CGTH, the FMWCC, the FCC, SDCC, and the HDSP. Also, I'm gonna give a shout out to KAO Tires, custom wheels. Called Bo. He paints rims. Customize all you want. You know, 883-8009 Bo at KAO Tires. 883-8009. And a special thanks to Power 88 for my Christmas card. Wow. I was excited. You know, I looked at it and had everybody's signature on there.
Everybody's.
I'm like, man.
Even mine.
Show you right.
I had to sign 1 million cards.
It was so many names on there. I'm going through it. I'm like, wait a minute now. What color are you? Bam. There she go.
There she is right there.
All right. I appreciate that, Power 88. This is the T-Mac story. All right. Now, let's get on with the show. Las Vegas, I hope you are ready. Now, our topic today is holiday cheers, holiday fear. Why we don't support each other. Here we go. This topic brings great concern to me and to others out there. You see, I asked God to give me a sign when he thought I should reveal it. It has been over a year, and the sign came through a gentleman that came to my shop to ask me to do a topic on why we don't support each other. That gentleman was DJ Thump. So stay tuned in. I'm going to share this dream that I had with God. You see, it was 1 year ago at my release party for the true documentary of the T-Mac story. Now, before I can tell you this dream, let's go back to the making of the T-Mac story. It reminded me of God telling Noah to build the ark. You see, Noah's people came and the others had disbelief. Even the closest friend would say, don't get in that film because the police would close in when it's completed. And the most would say, you can't make a movie like that. Now let me pause for a second. I had a close relative. He said, T, what you doing? You can't make no movie like that. I said, I was sitting at home and I watched Jay-Z made one. And his was just as worse as mine. He said, T, you ain't got no Jay-Z money. Now, on the completion of the T-Mac story, which took 3 long years, my partner and I put together a release party. It felt like we invited the world. A lot of money was spent, especially on these plaques that we made to give out to the community. I told him only Noah people would come, like Reverend Bennett, Mack from Hair Unlimited, the Convicted Angels, Dr. Mustafa, and James Brown himself from One Love Car Club, and a few family members and friends, etc. All the ones that didn't show up, an apology would have been accepted, but I still love and support them till this day. No phone calls. But it felt like the more Noah asked them to come, the more they didn't acknowledge. And behind the scene, we lost big. So big that my partner and I, friendship was lost for a year. From that moment, that night, I never felt so depressed in my life. I understood what movie stars go through in Hollywood. The next morning, I stayed in bed. Then that night, my dream with God started. Now, keep in mind, this is a month before I even had my radio show. At that time, Galaxy Glenn was the host. I could not believe his energy he gave Noah's people that was there. He lifted my spirit. And from that night, I know now why his name is Galaxy Glenn. And DJ Thump, you have that same gift, my brother.
Okay.
You know, life has a funny way of questioning it, even at its slowest pace. You see, for years I wondered, where did this come from? Why don't we support each other? Here's my theory on what may have went wrong. It may have started around the early 70s, after the death of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. When that generation of families felt lost while sitting at home, one person replied, I'm making more money than you one day. And from there, it became a competition. You see, competition is good, but for the ones that can't prevail, but not for the ones that can't prevail. From that, it formed jealousy of our own kind, losing the ability to thank a person for the accomplishment that they have endured. From there, the love was lost, and each generation passed it on to the next generation. It has become so unfair that I could ask questions like, why a brother of a family that makes good money wouldn't provide for his sister or brother that was less fortunate? Why does the South have a different kind of love than the city? But when Frankie Beverly comes to town, then you switch back to Power 88. Is it because of Southern love? Or why do you have 4,000 friends on Facebook and give a party and only 60 show up? And the worst part is, how can anyone be jealous of their own brother, sister, or cousin? It's time for a change right now. Here's my true testimony with God. While the whole time my body was asleep, I would probably call this a dream with God. You see, my body was completely asleep when God woke me up. But I couldn't understand because it was dark and silent. Then I heard my grandmother's voice. Baby, you have to start from the kids and work your way up. Then there was silence again. Then God said, you are weak, the weakest that I ever seen you. But my son, you must give up. You must not give up. And don't worry, I will bring all them to you, one at a time. And I replied, how you gonna do that? And before I can get off my words out, and a loud thunder sound, and it scared me, and God said, don't you ever question me. And then he lit the whole world up so that I could see it. And then he shut the whole world back to darkness. And then there was silence once again. And then I opened my eyes to true darkness. After my cousin Percy made a second attempt to get me out of bed the following morning, we opened the shop. The ones that didn't come, their cars kept coming to get repaired. 2 months later, I received my own radio show here on Power 88, the T-Mac Story Morning Show. Here's a personation of what's going on. Shelley, will you come look out the window? Look at this. Look who's pulling up in my doggone driveway.
It's your brother-in-law. Bobby, will you have some Christmas spirit this year?
Christmas spirit, my butt. Look at him. He think he better than everybody else. Always talking about how much money he got. Look at him. He just bought another car 2012, ain't even here yet. Here he comes, Shelley. Smile. You know a smile kills the cat.
Hey there, brother.
What's going on?
Well, I just want some money, and I came to share with you.
Man, how you doing? I was just talking about you. I miss y'all. Come on in. Shelley, will you get the tea cookies and the tea for the family? Shelley! How much money you got for me? And we'll be right back on the T-Mac Story Morning Show. It's good.
I like the little more drama in the background too. Yeah. Soap opera.
You did good, see?
Right, T-Mac. The reason for that was...
We just want to share some light because that problem is not going on with just me. It's going on with others and everybody in the community. So we want to just share some deep light to get everybody lifted up, to speak out and let their voice be heard on the T-Mac Story Morning Show.
What you say?
Man, I said, you know what? This is supposed to be the holy day season, not just holidays, the holy days. And we need to learn how to support, learn how to give more than receive. You know what I mean? And not just give, learn how to forgive. We got families that's been together for years, not even speaking to each other. So I'm gonna give a big shout out to the T-Mac Morning Show. Man, thanks T-Mac, bringing this topic up, man. We gotta learn how to not just share during Christmas, but not just fear it, but let's have the real Hollywood holiday cheer spirit, man. All right, keep it locked. Power 88, T-Mac.
We are back on the T-Mac Story Morning Show. Jerusha, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, T-Mac. I'm awesome. What can I say? I'm back here with you.
I say you love that song, huh?
Oh, baby, took me back right here on Madison where I grew up.
Now, I know we and all may have went through this type of situation. What do you think about it?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
How many has gone through this devastation?
Oh, with the economy and everything?
With more of the world not getting along and supporting each other.
Wow, how long? Longer than I can even, I mean, it's been going on ever since I can remember. Matter of fact, I was just discussing this. I was telling Anthony about it with my husband yesterday, of how it's been transpired or brought down from generation to generation. It's a slave mentality that has, it has locked us in on this fear and crab mentality. And so we speak that, the power of the words from generation to generation, and it prevents us, because the power of the words, it prevents our children from really being able to launch out on the levels that God has already planned for us. It aborts many dreams.
Okay. Now, you know, I was kind of watching an old film last night. It was called The Rosewood. And that's a touching film. And also you have the one that's called The Mississippi Burning. Now, in those days to what's going on now, anyone out there, would you still be acting the same way if those times where we stuck together then to what you are doing now?
Anybody want to answer that?
That's too deep for you, huh? You want to answer that over there? Talk to me.
I think we should still stick together like back then.
But do we?
No, we don't.
No, we don't. Okay. Now, what can we do to stop this? That's the whole key. What can we do to stop this? And it just, you have to bring the awareness up, because there are a lot of people out there that put functions, that put the, functions together, and they spend a lot of money. And, the people, I know you can't come to every event, but a person that works hard behind the scene and they put all this money and energy into it, and your people let you down. How is that? That is so deep and so wrong. But who can say? 647-3688. Let's see what you have to say.
Can I interject on that, Waggy?
Go for it.
Okay, first of all, we go back to the 70s and look back at the movement. There was a cause. So the first question would be, what is the cause? Okay. People get involved with something that they believe in. Okay. We haven't had a cause since Martin Luther King, and let me take that back, President Obama. That's when you saw every nation and tongue come together. Right. But somewhere we had a flat in the midst of after he became president. Right. So now I see it. It has to be a cause that everybody feels, that it's a heartbeat. And one thing I always say, the inner city is the heartbeat. So when the heartbeat begins to speak, as you're doing here on the community station 88.1, then other people begin to feel that heartbeat. You begin to be their voice. So as we begin to be the voice, and those that have that same heartbeat, but maybe speaking or doing it in a different way, that we must come together as a mighty army. And then begin to see the people, the importance of us coming together. The Bible says where two or more, there he is in the midst. Where there's unity, there's power. You see? So as we do that, you're going to have the standbyers. You're going to have those that's going to be on lockdown, shut down. But then you have those that it takes one like yourself that have dare to speak up and call the masses forward.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. And, a lot of people just like to hold their thoughts in and try to keep it to themselves. But, that builds up a lot of
fear,
and also, it's just not healthy at all. And, also, I spoke to people in the community, and there's one thing that I kept hearing back to back, every day or every year, is that, I don't know if DJ Thumb, maybe he could probably, help me out on this, because I know he went to college and everything, and that's unfortunate. My brother went to, Grambling State, and I wanted to go too,
you know, I had a brand new '83 Toyota Corolla, but I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, can you pay for my car note while I go to college? And he's like, well, son, I don't know about that, but maybe if you just take it on out there and hope that they don't find it. So, you know, I like to think and look ahead maybe 2 or 3 years or maybe a year ahead. And I went like, well, dang, if I'm out there in the country and my car get taken, I ain't gonna be having nowhere to go. I'm gonna be walking in the woods. I ain't going out there. So that kept me from going to college. But, you know, it's kind of crazy. But my question is, do sororities support each other, or do they just support their own kind? You know,
that
because it's like it might be a new child, a new generation coming up, and you know, we save the kids. We all say that we save the kids, and you know, but what about if that child wasn't part of a sorority? He was less important to go to school, and he came to speak to a person that was in it, and next thing you know, she couldn't get that job. But it's like a deep inside secret. So is that true? DJ Thump, you know, I was just speaking on the sororities, or do we all support each other? Do the sororities just support just their own kind? Can you help me out on that?
Well, of course, sororities.
That's a good one.
Sororities, fraternities, yes, they do, and I'm really glad you asked that question because it kind of put a dampen on the stupid people thinking that, you know, fraternities, it's a competition. You know, Sigmas, we love the Omegas, we love the Iotas, and vice versa. I mean, it's Greek. We're all Greek. We all went through the trip to earn our grit. So we do support each other, and all the sororities, they do support each other. When the Deltas, they have their event, of course, my sisters, the Zetas, they support, and they do support each other. Fraternities are a little different. Fraternities and sororities are a little different than what we call our people. Because our people definitely do not support each other.
And, you know, it seems like along with that said, along with all the other members and organizations, if we have put all that together, we have a problem in the world. We have a real serious problem. And, you know, we out there saying we save the kids, and when they come down to it, after that child turns into an adult, nobody's saving the kids anymore. Las Vegas, we need to wake up.
I think it goes back to classism personally. Okay, because you can't even get in a sorority unless you have a certain grade point average, or if you've been to college. I think it's a form of slavery, a mentality, and so we think we're better. You know, you think you're better than the one that maybe never ever had the opportunity to go to college, or maybe they were dropout. So you get shunned. So again, it is a form of slavery to keep us divided as a people.
Right. Wow.
You want to say something?
Well,
if you're not a debutante, you can't get in.
You said, well, I'm sorry.
I'm
trying to soak all this in. Are you saying that, like the fraternities and sororities, if you're not part of those, are you saying that they're part of like slavery?
It's a mentality that we all have been victimized of. Again, it's a generational curse. I'll use an example of my own family because I'm very transparent, if you guys don't mind. You know, I was the third child of 5. And my sister, she went to, she was a debutante, very smart. I mean, she graduated. She did all the right things. And growing up on the west side here on Madison, for me, I was the slow student. I was the one that barely made it. I was the one got in through a prayer. Didn't even graduate, had a baby at 16. I did all the wrong things. I wasn't even eligible to be a debutante or even be a part of the alumni of the, the sororities. And so I see everything in my life now is that I'm the voice of those that are like me. And when you look at it, like after 55 years of my life, and I look at it, we are still playing the role of classism, the black person, the house nigga and the nigga on the outside.
I'm listening.
So, yeah, that's what I said. And I'm sorry. Did I do something wrong?
You're right.
You asked me. It's the truth. And until we take the chains off of our mind and realize that all of us are descendants of the slaves, we will continue to do like the children of Israel.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I was
on
like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like 5 years old, you know, living down south. And at the end of the show, I'm gonna sing you this little church song that I was like 5 years old, sitting with my grandmother. That just kind of like, you know, it just stays with me all my life though. But not right now. We're gonna see if we can take a phone call. 647-3688.
I have a comment.
Go for it.
And if I may, as far as fraternities and sororities, and I totally understand her point, and I do respect that. On the other hand, I'm looking at it at a different angle. I was fortunate to be in the military as well before I went to college. So of course I went through boot camp, and I went through a trip. I went through something.
Right.
And once I got through and I graduated, I felt better about myself. And I expected better of myself. So when I came back home and I saw all my friends still doing the same same thing, I expected better of myself to be away from that.
Right.
I didn't think that I was better than them. I expected better out of myself.
Right.
So I agree with you to a certain extent, but at the same time, it made me a better person when I pledged my fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma Incorporated. And of course, we're inclusive instead of exclusive.
Right. Now, we're not trying to, you know, let's get the record straight. We're not trying to, you know, target the sororities. But what we're saying is, if the rest of the world that surround us in the community that did not go or did not go to church, not go to church or just
didn't go to college or something.
Didn't go to college or anything, that they're forming their own mind of power, and it might be wrong. And then if we take the majority of the powerful people that went to college, like the sororities, and if they're not opening up the doors for anyone, then we're going to have a problem. So let's take a call, 647-3688, and just, you know, see what the world has to say. We have a caller there?
Yeah, we have a caller. Hold on.
Okay, then, you know.
Paul Radio, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful.
Good.
Good, and yourself?
I'm blessed. Thanks for asking. Just glad to see God woke me up for another day.
Amen.
But I'll just call in regards to the conversation y'all having. You know, it's just like I said, being born and raised in Las Vegas, it seems like everything's divided into the haves and have-nots. And, you know, they you see a lot of functions, and whether it's government functions or churches and trying to get things active within communities. But like you said, it's a lot of competition, even within those type of things, that who could raise the most money, who could do this.
Right.
And it's like you're saying, instead of everybody coming together for one cause, one body, one faith, one baptism for one great cause.
Right.
You know, I think that would be the greatest thing ever. But at the same time, even some of those people, they want to see stuff different, but there's no action. They're the thinkers, but there's no action. Faith without works is dead. And I think Las Vegas needs to start looking over Las Vegas more as far as transitional housing and things like that.
Okay.
And just really seeing what God can do in our lives if we would only just take one step forward in what He would call us to do and allow Him to give us the increase.
You know what, Tia, if I may. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, buddy, for your
wonderful comment.
Right.
We're running out of time, but I have to comment on that. We have to respect each other as a humankind,
right?
Because not as a religion. A religion is a way of life,
right?
So you can't force your religion and your way of life on someone else's. I truly agree when he says, you know, one baptism and the whole nine. But we need to stop trying to compete with the Joneses.
Right.
We need to stop trying to be, and you know, somebody got a car, you want to get the same car.
Right.
Somebody got their way of living, it works for them, not for you, so you want to hate on them now.
Right.
You know, and that's the whole thing, is we have to treat each other right as a mankind, not just because he's a Christian or he's a Muslim or he's or this or whatever, because his belief is going to be between him and his God on Judgment Day.
There you
go.
You
know, my belief is going to be between me and my God on Judgment Day.
There you go. That sounds beautiful. Let's take one more call, and then we're gonna get up out of here. You know, and we're gonna talk about our next topic. What we got going on? Yeah. Caller, welcome to the T-Max Third Morning Show. What's your name? Go with your comment.
Praise God. All praise to
Thank you, my brother.
My name is Elijah.
Hey, Mike, can you turn your radio down for us, please?
All right, go ahead, buddy. You got 30 seconds. Go for it.
Okay, I was just calling to be in agreement with the young lady. I just wanted to say that slavery, this mental enslavement, is a trick that's being played on us, not because we're like the children of Israel, but we are the children of Israel.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Amen.
Thank you so much, brother.
Have a good one.
All right, have a good one. All right. Now, I want to thank all my callers for calling in, and also I want to thank you, Jaruja, and also DJ Thump.
Yes, sir.
Everybody for coming in to the show. And on our next show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to round all the kids at the table on our next show and see if we can come to some light in saving the kids. Now, this old church song, you know, when I was with my grandmother sitting on a little chair next to her, and it goes a little something like this. Get right, church, and let's go home. I say, get right, church, and let's go home. I say, get right, church, get right, church, get right, church, and let's go home. We'll see you next time on the T-Mac Story Morning Show. Peace.